Is a prime Obafemi Martins faster than these players? Thierry Henry,
I'm faster than him.
Mickey van der Ven,
Faster than him, for sure.
Kyle Walker,
Way faster than him.
Kylian Mbappe,
Way faster.
Cristiano Ronaldo,
Way faster.
Ian Robben,
Way faster. Probably better with the ball.
Gareth Bale,
Way faster. You forgot about me? Wow.
Mohamed Salah,
I'm faster than him.
R9,
I'm faster than him. He knows that.
Leroy Sané,
Faster than him.
Adama Traore,
Faster than him.
and the last one is Theo Walcott.
Walcott. I'm faster than him, for sure.
So there's no player on this list faster than
No
you.
player. Go back to Inter Milan and ask about me. No way.
Sorry to all the other contenders, but Obafemi Martins is, without a doubt, the fastest player in football history. Alongside Adriano, he terrorized every defense in Serie A, forming a deadly duo that Inter Milan was thrilled to have in their squad. He always celebrated his goals with his signature move and incredible backflip that was as spectacular as it was impressive. With his technical skills, athleticism, and raw physical power, he had everything needed to earn a place among Africa's football legends, alongside Didier Drogba and Samuel Eto'o. But one story, one controversy, one rumor changed everything, putting an end to his dreams of true football greatness. How did the fastest footballer of all time derail his own career? Let's dive into this wild story together on Football Bad Boys. Let's go. An explosive rise in football. Before we dive into the story of Obafemi Martins, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, or even leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's get started. Obafemi Martins. Ask any football fan from my generation about the most overpowered team in the history of football video games, whether on PlayStation or any other consolean, they'll all give you the same answer: PES5. Why? Because that team was absolutely insane. With Toldo, Zanetti, Recoba, Cambiasothi, list goes on. But above all, the most broken part of the squad was the attacking duo, Adriano and Martins. It was simple if Inter Milan's number 30 made a run in behind. It was a guaranteed goal, and unfortunately for his real-life opponents, what was true in the video game was just as true on the pitch. Martins could have chosen athletics and given Usain Bolt a serious challenge in sprinting history, but he chose football instead. On the 28th of October, 1984, Obafemi Martins was born in Lagos, Nigeria. From the very beginning, his passion for football took over. Morning, noon, and night, he played. But there was something unique about him. He often played barefoot. Maybe that's where his distinctive playing style came from. One thing was clear. With the ball at his feet, he was lightning, fast, highly technical, and despite his small stature, incredibly strong and stable on his feet. At 14 years old, he was playing on the streets when he was spotted by Churchill Olise, the brother of a former Nigerian international and, more importantly, the president of a local club, FC Ebede. It was an instant connection between the two. Martins would later recall this moment in an interview after his career. He told me, "Take this and meet me at the training ground." He put some money in my hand. I just said, "Okay." At FC Ebede, Martins learned a more structured, tactical, and disciplined style of football. Olise knew he had found a gem, a raw talent with massive potential, and that Europe was his inevitable destination. He told me, "I think you're ready to go to Italy." I went home and told my parents everything. I was only 15, but I knew I had to go. It wasn't a difficult decision. My parents told me to go, but my mother cried. They prayed a lot for my success. And those prayers were answered. Martins soon signed for the Italian 3rd Division club AC Reggiana. But his journey wasn't without obstacles. When he arrived with 3 other young players competing for spots at the academy, the club informed them that only 2 would be selected. Despite the freezing weather in northern Italy, the language barrier and the tactical discipline of European football, so different from what he was used to in Africa, Martins managed to prove himself. He convinced the club to give him a chance. He continued to hone his skills with Reggiana's youth teams, but still earned 2 appearances with the senior squad in the Italian 3rd Division. Even with such limited game time at a professional level, one of Italy's biggest football giants saw enough potential to take a gamble on him. Inter Milan went all in, spending €750,000 on a 16-year-old who, at that moment, had yet to prove himself on the world stage. The rise of a star at Inter Milan. Inter Milan didn't make a mistake not at all. Right from his first season, Obafemi Martins exploded onto the scene. At just 19 years old, he was unstoppable, scoring 23 goals and playing a key role in helping Inter Milan's Primavera team win the 2001-2002 championship. Naturally, his performances created a huge buzz. In fact, rumors say that Massimo Moratti, the powerful president of Inter Milan, personally attended every one of Martins' youth matches. That speaks volume. This caught the attention of Inter's first-team coach Hector Cooper, who was so impressed that he decided to promote Martins to the senior squad. Then, on the 4th of December 2002, Obafemi Martins made his official debut for Inter's first team against Bari. And from that moment, things escalated quickly. Hector Cooper was convinced by his talent and gave him playing time not only in Serie A, but also in the Champions League against some of the biggest clubs in Europe. Within a short span, Martins played against FC Barcelona, Newcastle United, and even Bayer Leverkusen, the previous season's Champions League finalists. Now take a step back for a moment. Just 3 years earlier, this kid was playing barefoot in the streets of Lagos. Now he was part of one of Europe's elite clubs, sharing the field with legends like Hernan Crespo, Christian Vieri, Esteban Cambiaso, and Javier Zanetti. For many, this sudden rise would have been overwhelming, but not for Martins. We had to play against Leverkusen, and we needed a win or we'd be eliminated. I was scared, but the coach called me into the locker room, just the two of us, and told me, "You're starting tomorrow. Play like you do in training. I know you can do it. You're a good player. Just relax." The team supported me and made me believe I could do it. I scored, and we won 2-0. To celebrate this huge moment in his career, Obafemi Martins did what would later become his signature movie's famous backflip. Nigerian fans and Inter's youth teams had seen it before, but now the whole of Europe was watching. In fact, his backflip celebration became so iconic that UEFA included it in the official promotional clip for the next season's Champions League. The hype was real. Martins' season continued in spectacular fashion. In the Champions League semi-finals, Inter Milan faced AC Milan in what was a battle between two of Italy's footballing giants, both at the peak of European football. And Martins delivered, scoring a crucial late goal in the second leg that gave Inter hope. But unfortunately, the match ended 1-1, and with that, Inter was eliminated. Despite the heartbreak, one thing was clear: Martins had made a huge impression. He had arrived on the big stage. But with great talent comes great responsibility. And as his former coach pointed out, raw talent alone wouldn't be enough. I was very impressed by his speed and potential. Technically, he was good too. The one thing he lacked was a sense of discipline, both in training and in his personal life. He had no diet culture and was undisciplined off the pitch. I lost count of the number of times I was called about him. The road to greatness was there for Martins. But would he stay on track, or would his lack of discipline off the pitch cost him everything? The hidden secret? The 2003-2004 season was a crucial one for Obafemi Martins. After a breakthrough year, this was the season where he needed to confirm all the promise he had shown, and he did. At just 19 years old, Martins was not yet a guaranteed starter, but that was understandable. Inter Milan had a stacked squad, full of world-class players. Still, he became an essential part of the team, featuring in 37 matches, with 21 starts, and breaking the 10-goal mark for the season. His growth was rapid, and more importantly, he delivered when it mattered most. One of his biggest moments came in the Europa League, then called the UEFA Cup. In the round of 16 against Benfica, he was the hero, scoring a decisive brace that helped Inter win 4-3 on aggregate. Unfortunately, Inter's European dream ended in the quarterfinals, and in an ironic twist, they were eliminated by Didier Drogba's Olympique de Marseille. But despite the European disappointment, 2004 was a defining year for Martins, not just at club level, but also on the international stage. That same year, he earned his first call-up to the Nigerian national team, the Super Eagles. He wasted no time in making an impact, scoring in his debut against Ireland. Then, in just his second appearance, he bagged a brace. It was clear Nigeria had found its new attacking star. By this point, life couldn't have been better for Obafemi Martins. He was earning a huge salary at Inter Milan. He had a luxurious house near Lake Como where he could relax whenever he wanted. He was living the Italian dream, the dolce vita. Everything was perfect, until it wasn't. The controversy that changed everything. While Martins was enjoying success on the pitch, an enormous scandal was about to explode on that would jeopardize his entire career. The 2004-2005 season was yet another step forward for him. Now playing under Roberto Mancini, he thrived. He played 31 matches. He started half of them. He scored 22 goals, breaking the 20-goal barrier for the first time in his career. For a young striker in Serie A, this was a huge achievement. Italian football was known for its defensive discipline, and scoring this many goals at such a young age was a statement. However, despite Martins' individual brilliance, Inter Milan still struggled in major competitions. They were knocked out of the Champions League again by AC Milan. They finished third in the Serie A title race. The one bright spot? Winning the Coppa Italia. And once again, Martins played a key role, scoring twice in the semifinals, helping Inter lift the trophy. At this point, everything seemed lined up for Martins to become one of Inter Milan's future legends. He was only 21 years old. The club believed in him. His career was on the perfect trajectory, but then doubt crept in. Was he really 21? This one question would change everything. The shadow of doubt and a new beginning. Obafemi Martins' story takes a complicated turn, not because of his performances, but due to persistent doubts about his real age. While avoiding harmful stereotypes about African footballers, his case highlights a broader issue: administrative inconsistencies in Nigerian football. According to some sources, Martins was not born in 1984, as officially stated, but rather in 1978. The key word here is alleged. But the doubts were serious enough that an ethnologist from Clairefontaine Football Academy conducted a thorough investigation, a widespread practice. In several African countries, young players are sometimes registered as younger than their actual age. Why? To extend their development period and give them more time to adapt. Because at 13 to 15 years old, physical differences are massive. A more mature player can dominate his opponents. To increase their market value, a player who is supposed to be at his peak at 25 can be sold for a high price. But in reality, he may already be 31 and approaching the end of his career. This phenomenon has sparked multiple scandals. A famous case was Joseph Minala, a Cameroonian player who was officially 17 years old, but his appearance suggested otherwise. The British newspaper The Guardian also exposed several cases, including one where FIFA banned Nigeria from all international competitions for 2 years after discovering that 3 players at the 1988 Olympics had different birth dates in previous tournaments. Even legends like JJ Okocha and Nwankwo Kanu were caught up in rumors. Some claimed that Okocha was actually 10 years older than his official age, while Kanu was 9 years older. An investigation later revealed that these rumors were spread by the webmaster of the Nigerian Football Federation, who had been paid to circulate them. But no matter the denials, the damage was done. Once doubt is planted, it never truly disappears. The impact on Martin. Obafemi Martins was never officially found guilty of age fraud. However, the accusations were enough to damage his reputation. His achievements seemed less impressive. Was he really a prodigy at 21? Or was he actually older than reported? His rapid rise and incredible speed suddenly seemed suspicious. His future at Inter Milan became uncertain, and on the pitch, it started to affect his performance. In the 2005-2006 season, his statistics declined: 13 goals and 4 assists in 43 games. He failed to reach the next level. On a team level, Inter Milan was thriving, winning the Serie A and Coppa Italia double. But a major issue emerged. Inter signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The attack was now overcrowded. Adriano, Crespo, Julio Cruz, Luis Figo, and now Zlatan. Martin's future at the club seemed in jeopardy. An exit to England. With his place at Inter uncertain, the club made a decision: sell Obafemi Martins. He moved to Newcastle United for 15 million euros. The English club believed they were signing a young, explosive forward with great potential. Inter, meanwhile, secured a good financial deal. But with this transfer, a new chapter began for Martins: his adventure in the Premier League and the start of his globetrotting career. A number 9 and a legacy of passion. At Newcastle, Martins inherited the iconic number 9 jersey previously worn by club legend Alan Shearer. Wearing this number at St. James's Park was like taking the number 7 shirt at Manchester United. It came with huge expectations. However, his coach at the time, Glenn Roeder, had no fear. To him, it wasn't about the jersey, but rather the greatness of the player who wore it. Standing at 1.70 meters, 5'7", Martins was more than just his height. 130 matches played for one of Europe's biggest clubs, Inter Milan. 50 goals scored at the highest level, experience in the Champions League, including semifinals, a Serie A title, and a Coppa Italia under his belt. He was not some inexperienced young player just starting out in European football. He was ready for the challenge. A slow start, then a stunning moment. Martins had a disappointing beginning at Newcastle, scoring just 1 goal in his first 10 matches. This was far below expectations, considering his €15 million transfer fee, his famous number 9 jersey. But then, things changed. Newcastle was struggling in a match against Tottenham, trailing 2-1. The team was desperate for inspiration. Martin stepped up and delivered a thunderbolt of a goal shot, clocked at 135 km/h, rocketing into the top corner. He even assisted the winning goal, completing an incredible comeback. That moment made him a fan favorite at St. James's Park. Loyalty to Newcastle. His rise caught the attention of Chelsea, who tried to sign him in the January transfer window, but Martins refused to leave. He publicly declared, "I love playing for Newcastle. I don't know where these rumors are coming from, but I am a Magpies player, that's all that matters." Despite Newcastle's underwhelming team performances, Martins had a fantastic first season. 17 goals, 5 assists, 46 matches played. He proved himself to be a reliable, consistent performer, far from the fraud some feared he might be. A near-tragic incident. In 2007, while on international duty with Nigeria, Martins survived a shocking assassination attempt. Despite the terrifying experience, he remained committed to his national team, earning 40 caps and scoring 18 goals. However, he never quite reached legendary status at the international level. Newcastle's relegation and a move to Germany. Disaster struck in 2009. Newcastle was relegated to the Championship English Second Division. Martins, not wanting to play at a lower level, moved to Wolfsburg for €10.5 million. There, he joined a squad filled with talent, including Andrea Barzagli and Grafit. However, his Champions League campaign was underwhelming. His performances in Germany were disappointing, fueling fresh rumors about his real age. Was he really 26, or was he 32? A decline in journeyman years. His time at Wolfsburg lasted just 1 season. He then moved to Rubin Kazan, Russia, for €9 million, but failed to make a significant impact. From there, his career turned into a series of short spells. Birmingham City, England, scored only 2 goals, but one of them was the League Cup winning goal against Arsenal in the 89th minute. Levante, Spain, his most notable moment. Dating Mario Balotelli's sister. Seattle Sounders, USA, a brilliant period. Scoring 65 goals in 83 games and rediscovering his joy for football. Shanghai Shenhua, China, formed a strong strike partnership with Demba Ba, but was hampered by injuries. Wuhan Three Towns, China. His final club before retirement. More than just a footballer, Obafemi Martins never won the Ballon d'Or. He never dominated world football like Messi or Ronaldo. But he was a fighter, a player who came from nothing and made it to the very top. He entertained a generation, whether through his blistering pace, stunning goals, or legendary backflips. His career will always be clouded by age controversies, but in the end, does it even matter? He made us dream. And for that, we can only say, thank you, Obafemi Martins.